I'm going to review 7 brave soldiers, foreign brave soldiers who fight for Biafras during the Civil War. It's a high time we began to review our history or things that happened even after Biafra and before Biafra War. I'm going to show you these foreign soldiers today. You may love this story. Let's go and find out how this thing happen. Hello, my wonderful people. Welcome back to Balabas Gist. If today is the first time you come across this wonderful channel, you are highly welcome. Yeah, my people, we'll go quickly jump into this matter where I get for hand today. Today we are going to talk about the 7 soldiers that fight along shoulder to shoulder with Biafra Army, who say that Nigeria have committed what they call a genocide, an orchestrated genocide against the Biafrans, and they come back from wherever they, some from Germany, some from France, some from different countries. This is a volunteer. This is a people who volunteer themselves to fight with Biafra Army. But one of these soldiers said something that I'm going to tell you here. He said that Biafra Army is a people he never seen in his life before. What a strong army. Could you imagine that they have everything they needed in that war? Tell me what would have happened. But however, because of the help of other foreign countries like let me say Britain, this is Britain that fought Biafra, not even Nigeria, because Nigeria can never win a war. Look at, war have not even started. The army is already crying in their parliament. Everybody watch the video. The army is on my page right now. I can watch. Is already crying in their parliament that the Biafra army, I give it them back to back, this one, that one. But I'm going to review this foreign. We're going to respect these people today, and we're going to acknowledge them for their brave volunteer fight for our forefathers, because most of us have recollected from this particular war. We are the same people that fight this war. You that watching me today, you are the same people that fight this war. So we are going to respect these people. I'm going to play the video for you to watch from beginning to end and know their names and the countries where they come from. Let's watch the video together before we come back and continue.
With great interest. Biafra's War of Independence, I hired Western mercenaries. Rolf Steiner, German. Jan Zambok, Polish. Lynn Garrison, Canadian. Taffy Williams, Welsh. Mark Gusons, Belgian. Carl Gustav von Rosen, Swedish, and Roger Folks, French.
These heroic men shed blood for Biafrans to survive what was an orchestrated genocide. No one has told the story of their heroic sacrifices for Biafra against all odds. The 4th Commando Brigade of the Biafran Armed Forces was given over to German mercenary Rolf Steiner, who oversaw 3,000 men. The time has come to tell our stories ourselves, or others will tell them for us. However, before we delve deeper into this story, I'd like you to hit the like and subscribe button. Also, endeavor to share as it encourages us to do better.
Now back to the story. Colonel Rolf Steiner. German-born Colonel Steiner, the former Foreign Legion sergeant who fought for the majority of his life, was born. He entered Biafra in 1968 to assist with the breakaway revolt, and after demonstrating his abilities on several occasions, he was promoted to the rank of lieutenant colonel and given responsibility for planning. After 16 months of bloody fighting, the Nigerian federal troops gained a huge amount of Biafra territories. However, Rolf Steiner declared the war was far from over. General Ojukwu ordered an increase to 2 brigades, or 20 strike forces of 360 men each, which was greatly admired by Steiner. The new men are being armed with weapons that were purportedly bought with individual European credits as they enter Biafra from the neighboring nations of Gabon and the Portuguese island of São Tomé. There were reports of up to 40 tons arriving.
The 4th Brigade, led by 9 white mercenaries, operated behind Nigerian lines for the first 3 months of the year. Later, it controlled portions of the Western Front but was compelled to withdraw when the federal troops outmanned and outgunned it. The 4th Brigade was down to just 1,000 by early September after a failed attempt to defend Oba with resources equivalent to just 5 rounds of ammunition per man per day. More than 300 people have died and 2,200 people have been injured out of the roughly 7,000 men with whom he began the campaign. The rest were absent from the scene. One of Steiner's subordinates, the Welsh mercenary Taffy Williams, was in charge of 100 Biafran fighters.
The other Hyde mercenaries under Steiner's command included the Italian Giorgio Nobbiato, the Rhodesian Gianni Erasmus, the explosives expert Alexander Alikgay, the Irishman Louis Paddy Mulrooney, the Corsican Armand Irinelli, who had joined the Foreign Legion by feigning Italian nationality, and a Jamaican bartender turned mercenary who went by the name of Gianni Correa. Pilot Jen Zambok, a Polish Swiss, coordinated and led an amateurish air force for Biafra. Hugh Taffy Williams was raised and completed his military training in South Africa after being born in Wales in 1933. Williams discovered that these Biafran soldiers were entirely different from the ones he oversaw in Katonga. "I've seen a lot of Africans in battle," he reportedly said. "But nobody can touch these people. For 6 months, give me 10,000 Biafrans, and we'll assemble an army that would be unbeatable on this continent." Men who would have received the Victoria Cross in another situation have died in this war, in my opinion. He was an irascible man who was known for yelling non-stop at his men. Williams was also referred to in Biafra as bulletproof because of his capacity to recover from numerous wounds. Between December 1967 and October 1968, Williams was reported 5 times to have been killed in action, but each time he turned up alive.
Williams, who had been given 100 Biafran fighters at the beginning of 1968, used only outdated weapons to hold off 2 battalions of Chadian mercenaries working for the Nigerian Federal Army. Early in April, after Williams redistributed his forces, the Chadians crossed the Cross River twice and seized Afikpo, a significant settlement on the western bank. Taffy Williams passed away in 1996. May his gentle soul rest in peace. He was one of the last white mercenaries to leave the country as secession came to an end. He was a man known for his bravery who served 2 tours of duty with the Biafran army and attained the rank of major.
The leaders of the Biafran air operations were the Canadian Lynn Garrison, the Swedish Carl Gustav von Rosen, and the Rhodesian Jack Malak. They attacked Nigerian forces while also supplying weapons and food aid. Portuguese pilots transported weapons from Portugal to Biafra while serving in the Biafran Air Force. By converting some Chris craft boats into gunboats, Steiner created a brown water navy that was effective at launching surprise raids for supplies and weapons. It was anticipated that using mercenaries against Nigeria would have a similar effect to that in the Congo, but the mercenaries were largely ineffective because the Nigerian military received far superior and more sufficient training than the Congolese militias. Even though there were some early successes, such as Operation OAU, over half of the 4th Commando Brigade was wiped out by Nigerian forces during the disastrous Operation Hiroshima of 15 to 29 November 1968. This caused Steiner to experience depression and a nervous breakdown and ultimately led to his expulsion and Taffy Williams's replacement. Despite the brutal onslaught of the Nigerian federal troops, these men had grown ideologically committed to Biafra's cause, which is unusual for mercenaries.
Mark Goossens. After his mission in the Congo, Mark Goossens, a decorated military man, came to Biafra in 1968 to support the cause by educating the militias of Biafra. When necessary, he also engaged in combat alongside his students. While in Biafra, he held the rank of major and served under Robert Føughť, the commander of the French mercenaries. Belgian mercenary Mark Goossens was killed in a suicide mission by defensive Nigerian forces during Operation Hiroshima. May his soul find eternal peace. He was reportedly motivated by his hatred of the evil the British and Nigerian governments had become in orchestrating genocide against Biafrans while handing them the scriptures with the other hand. Steiner also claimed to have fought for Biafra for idealistic reasons, claiming that the Igbo people had been subjected to genocide. However, American journalist Ted Morgan dismissed his claims, describing Steiner as a militarist who craved war because killing was the only thing he knew how to do well. Robert Føughť. Robert Føughť, a well-known French mercenary leader who had just completed a mission in Katanga, arrived in Biafra in 1968 to lead the breakaway rebellion with the help of a group of mercenaries he had personally recruited. Despite his good fighting skills, he could not stand a chance against the sizable Nigerian army. He escaped from the state of Biafra as the federal troops approached.
Lynn Garrison. Following his conversion to mercenary status, Garrison served as a combat pilot in several conflicts before serving as a military and political advisor, allegedly with the backing of several U.S. government agencies and U.S. senators. Garrison fought for the Biafra breakaway state as a mercenary during the Nigerian Civil War in 1967 to 1970. Garrison was initially sent to Biafra to investigate strategies for disarming the Nigerian Navy frigate, which was encircling Port Harcourt to obstruct oil exports.
The Biafrans discovered Garrison's skill as a pilot and requested his assistance. He conducted one bombing raid against Federal Airfield in Kano on August 20, 1967, in an almost inoperable B-26, and 3 MiG-17s were destroyed. When it was realized that light aircraft could serve as straightforward coin platforms, Garrison's friends James Bering and John Ferry of the Barings Bank and Ferry Aviation Company families supported the idea.
This idea was conceived by Count Carl Gustav von Rosen, and it was implemented in May 1969. With the aid of his RCF training, Garrison was able to shoot down a MiG-17 and an IL-28 at Port Harcourt on May 22, 1969, among other Soviet-supplied aircraft. These raids were conducted frequently during this time. If not for the heroics of Biafra's 4th Commando Brigade, the best unit in Ojukwu small army, Umuahia would have long since fallen.
In the end, they sacrificed a lot, but their efforts couldn't save Biafra.
Yeah, my wonderful people, you are welcome back. As I've watched that video, no be smart, you know. They say if you don't know your history, another person will tell you your history. So it's the right time that we began to review things that happened during that time and what actually happened, you know, because this will also elevate us for us to be more courageous of what we believe on and also stand our ground of what we believe on, because it's so obvious that everybody have seen it. Is very clear to our eyes. You can see the President General of Ohaneze Ndigbo talking in last update that we give here that how now it's so clear that Nigeria do not want them. You understand? So this is how everybody will be believing one by one until all of them agreed that this country that we are never agreed, our forefathers have never agreed on being, is never for us. So the hard time that everybody believe on this is when we began to go home and sit down and redraw how our city, how beautiful our cities will look like, the cities of Biafra will look like. Even those our brothers who is like we are talking about Biafra, they play, they don't hear. A time will come where they will be calling us brothers. We are with you people, please don't forget us. It will surely happen. But they say that in Igbo, they say that onye na ekiri adedema ewo mano na area. So now that Igbos, it's like the Igbos are the ones who are championing this Biafra issue, and they are the ones who are receiving the punish all over Nigeria. So if we began to show examples, our brothers will also learn. It's very simple. So it's a high time that we began to teach our children our culture, teach our children who we are, tell them what will happen in the past, tell them why the Biafra war, tell them what happened, how the genocide these people committed against us. So all these things have to be done. So if you have to begin now to teach your own children or any community, anybody, what actually happened, because a lot of people don't know. They are hearing about all this whole thing in their own ear, so they need to be lectured and tell the truth of what really happened. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you have your own agreement, or if you have your own something that you want to bring up here, or any correction or whatever that you feel, you are free, and but drop your comment respectfully. Okay, my people, we will see you for the next video, but try to share this video and make sure that you are following this page and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you so much.